Hey everyone, I'm here at my Stern Stranger Things pinball machine, and in today's video I am going to be installing a pair of these. This is the Pinball Monk Tibetan Breeze flipper fans. This will basically cool down the coils on the flippers to prevent flipper fade during the game. This comes in really handy when you're playing for a long period of time, or holding the flippers to trap balls for a long period of time. It causes the coils to heat up, and eventually over time the flippers will lose power due to that flipper fade. So I'm going to get these installed and walk you through the process of how I do that. Let's see what comes in the box from Pinball Monk. So got a little note here, and we got, I believe this is a dust-free cloth for cleaning. Instructions. Hope you need those. The two fans, these are polished stainless steel. Look pretty cool. Say Pinball Monk engraved right on them. Miscellaneous tools. Cool keychain. What's this? Gloves, a pair of Pinball Monk gloves. Those will come in handy to keep these nice and clean. Miscellaneous, looks like you got some Loctite here, probably. A little ratchet, some wires. What else we got here? Zip ties for cable management. And as mentioned, a nice pair of branded Pinball Monk snips for snipping those cable ties. So pretty much everything you need to do the whole installation right in the box, right from Pinball Monk. So again, I'll be going through the process to get this all installed. And step one is get this machine turned off and get the lockdown bar and the glass removed. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and we'll go from there. All right, the machine is off. I got the lockdown bar and the glass removed. And just a quick tip, get yourself a pair of these cotton gloves for removing the playfield glass. It'll just keep the glass clean. You won't get any fingerprints on the inside of the glass, which can be a distraction when playing. So just a cheapo pair of cotton gloves. I'll put a link in the description below so you can get yourself a pair as well. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove the balls, because I will be flipping the playfield up and don't want the balls rolling out onto the playfield when it's inverted. So quick and easy to do. So I'm just going to open up the coin door, and right here is the coil for the balls, and I'm just going to flip that a couple of times. Each time I flip it, I'm going to get a new ball out into the machine. All right, I got a few out, so I'm going to get those removed, and when I come back, all the balls will be out, and I'll be able to flip the playfield up. All right, I got all 6 balls removed from the machine. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the apron right here, aka the bow tie. Being very careful, the projector's right here on the inside of the apron, so I don't want to damage that as I lift this up. I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to rest it on the back of the head, nice and gently. So I'm being very careful not to do any damage to the playfield or to the head. All right, so here we are. Got the playfield flipped up. Again, really careful and gentle when flipping up the playfield and resting it on the head. I don't want to do any damage to the head or to the playfield in that process of lifting it up or resting it there to stand up. So you'll notice there's 2 little stops, one on each side. So make sure your playfield is all the way up against those stops, and then just gently rock it back and place it on the head. I also got a magnetic work light here, which is great. You can see everything I need to see to get this done. And here is the end of stroke switch. So what we're going to do is there's 2 screws here that hold the switch on. Going to use that little ratchet wrench that came with the Pinball Monk Tibetan Breeze fans to get those removed. And that's going to allow us to mount the mounting bracket for the fan here on the right flipper. So I'm just going to go ahead, get those 2 screws removed, and come right back. All right, so I tried using this little ratchet wrench that came with the Pinball Monk kit, and unfortunately you can actually see it's kind of, if I can focus, you can see it's kind of scratching there on the wrench. That's because the screws are so close together that there's not enough clearance here for the wrench between the screws. So we're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way, unfortunately. So I'll use a socket. So just a 1/4-inch socket wrench to get that out. It's gonna be a little tight. Might have to use a box wrench as well. So this is the easiest way to do it. Just get those screws out. You could remove the whole module, the whole coil module. There's basically 8 screws that hold it down, 4 on the bottom, 4 on the top, but you also gotta disconnect the flipper. So a lot of extra work to do that. And then I'd have to get everything readjusted, recalibrated, so to speak. So just gonna ease those end of stroke switches out and come right back. All right, just a quick lesson learned. So first, a little bit easier to work on getting the screws out of that end of stroke switch, resting the play field on the rails here. As you can see, the 2 screws up there. So I got the first screw about halfway out. So start with just, your standard issue 1/4-inch box wrench to ease it out. And then as soon as you have it out far enough, you can use that ratchet wrench that Pinball Monk provided. So get that out, and then as soon as that gets out, say 3/4 of the way, you can just put a 1/4-inch socket on the end of that, and just take it out the rest of the way by hand. So a couple of lessons learned so far. The other thing too I'm going to be careful of it is there is a spring mounted to this bracket here. So when that second screw comes out, I'm going to make sure to hold on to that so that doesn't go flying. A little bit fiddly, but just some patience. You'll get those screws out and get the bracket in there. So I'm going to get back to work here and come right back. All right, this is super fiddly work. So I got that right screw on with Loctite, and I got the second screw here ready to go into place. So I'm gonna basically fish that up in there, which I don't think it's possible to do while holding the camera, but let's give it a try. Let's see if I can do the impossible here. I'll fish that up in there and through that outside bracket, through the switch, and it's very important, there we go, very important that you don't cross thread this. So this cable here is pushing on this bracket, which you can see it's kind of making it want to go crooked. So you gotta be very careful not to cross thread that. And again, I'm just gonna take a 1/4-inch socket, just the socket itself, just to get a little extra leverage on here. And I'm gonna hand tighten these. Being, again, super careful not to cross thread. All right, so I'm pretty sure those are as tight as I'm going to get those by hand. You can see it's still loose. The other thing to mention is, let me see if we can move this to a better spot. Maybe there. Get some wires out of the way here. Okay. So this bracket here that came from Pinball Monk has 3 holes in it. So you want to line this fan up so it's as centered as possible on the coil. So I use the left 2 mounting holes. Okay. So now I'm going to begin the slow process of getting that all tied down. So I got the switch, the bracket for the Pinball Monk fan, this mount for the spring, the coil return spring there. I'm gonna get those 2 tightened down. Again, being overly cautious not to strip or cross thread as I get those tightened down. All right, I'm gonna tighten those down. All right, so this left side is much easier than the right. Night and day difference. I'm removing this little cable management harness thing here. Just gonna move this out of the way. Just bend it down. Just gets a little bit easier access here. I already got 1 screw out. I can use a 1/4 inch socket over here, and socket and wrench over here without a problem. Got this all the way loose. It's just finger tight now. That spring is, of course, still attached there. So I'm going to go ahead and get that removed the rest of the way, and then get the bracket for the fan mocked up here, and we'll go from there. All right, as you can see, I got that first screw in there, hand tight, kind of holding everything together, coming through the other side. Again, don't forget to put some Loctite. There's some blue Loctite. This came with the kit. I usually use Loctite on any of these type of screws where you're getting a lot of action vibration, especially with the newer machines that have shaker motors. They will vibrate things loose. So make sure you use the blue Loctite. If your kit didn't come with Loctite, again, use the blue one. There's blue and red. You do not want to use the red because you'll never get it off. It basically welds it on, for lack of a better term, but the blue Loctite is removable. If you have a bolt that is not coming off that has blue Loctite, you can just take a soldering iron, put it on the bolt or nut, and just warm it up a little bit, and the blue Loctite will break free. So just a little tip there for you. So I'm going to take this other bolt and get that screwed in there, and get everything hand tight, and then I'll start the process of getting it tightened down. Being careful not to over torque things. Even with these little screws, you can break them if you torque them down hard enough. You also want to crush the switch as well. So, all right, I'm going to start that now and come right back. All right, we're going down inside the cabinet now, and we need to locate the CN11 connector, which is this one right here. And we are going to attach the supplied cable to that connector so that the red wire is on the left and the black wire is on the right. So it's going to connect. Try to do this and record at the same time, just like that. And then we are going to take this wire and we're going to route it through the cable management here. And that is going to be our power source for our fans. So I'm just going to leave that like that for now. Now I need to take the other harness that was supplied with the kit, and we're going to basically run it from the fans here connection here, down the play field, into the wire harness here, to that power connector there. Focus, there we go. All right, I'm gonna do that and come right back. This is the cable that was provided by Pinball Monk. One side will have the connector that will go to that connector we just added, sticking out right there. And then the other side has two connectors, one for each of the fans. So I'm going to connect it to the fans up here and route the wiring over and down onto that harness over to here. Pretty straightforward. So I'm going to do that now and come right back. All right, so I just got loosely connected now, but I want to show you guys that these connectors are keyed. See that? Whoop, focus. So you can't mess this up, right? You can't plug it in the wrong way. So don't be nervous about it. Both are the same keyed. I'm going to run, again, this up and over, making sure that we're not going to get in the way of these coils. These move, obviously. The fans, etc. So this side is actually longer. So you can see here, focus. This short side, I'm going to this left flipper. The long side is going to the right flipper. I'll attach it, scab it onto this harness here, and then it'll come underneath here and then down and just follow all this, right? So I'm going to do that now, but I just wanted to show you that, you know, you can't mess this up, right? Don't be afraid to add these onto your machine. All right, so as you can see, I got it connected over here. Comes over, oops, focus, wraps around, comes down this cable harness, following it along, all the way down to the bottom here, and then shoots off to the side into that cable management, comes over here, comes up, connects into that connector. This one's also keyed, so you can't hook it up wrong, and then connects into that connection that we added earlier. So pretty straightforward. The wiring was easy peasy. They give you a ton of zip ties, so don't be shy, use them up. The big things, again, to look out for is you don't want to have any wires getting into anything that's mechanical. So you don't want any wires being pinched by any of the solenoids. You also don't want wires getting pinched when you open and close the playfield or move the playfield around. So just add it onto that harness there. Now I'm going to take those wire cutters that Pinball Monk provided, and I'm going to just snip off all these little wire tie ends here, and we'll pretty much be done. So I'm going to do that now and come right back. All right, so I turned the machine, I got the playfield down, resting here on the rails, and I don't know if you can see it on camera, but they're both working perfectly. It might sound a little loud now. I, of course, got the playfield up and the camera microphone is literally right there, but they're both running fine, both working great. So successful installation. So now I'll just get the playfield down and wrap it up. All right, so got those Tibetan breeze cooling fans all installed. Everything's back together. You can't hear those fans at all. Right up close, can't hear them. And nice little accessory here, a cool Pinball Monk keychain to add to the keychain for the machine. So that's cool, thank you guys. And that concludes this video. So pretty straightforward installation, not too difficult to do. And pretty happy with the overall process, the kit that was provided. Real fidgety work, you know, on that right side flipper, but overall wasn't too bad. looking forward to playing it and never experiencing flipper fade again on this machine. So thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And check out the description if you're looking for anything I used today. I'll put links in the description below. Thanks again for watching.